Okay, we're live. I just have to silence it on my Facebook account real fast. There we go. Okay, so I'm here with Angela, and today we're going to be talking about EFT. So if you come on live, or if you're going to be watching the replay, type replay in the comments. We want to know that you were here. And I'm actually really excited. I do know a little bit about EFT, but not a ton. And I think it's something that can be super helpful that we can use on ourselves, from what I understand, but you'll give us more about it. But first, I want to get to know you a little bit better and just some questions, insights. And I figured because it is the holidays, what is your favorite holiday?
Definitely Christmas. I just feel like the biggest kid at Christmas time. Like, it takes me way back to my childhood. So I love it. Yep. Magical.
It is a magic time of year. Do you get snow in Australia? Do you guys get snow?
No. We've had the odd weird moments in the south, but I'm more north. So yeah, no snow. It's super hot. Like 40 degrees is going to be this weekend. It's really hot. So I think that's like,
feels like Christmas. That's wild. That's so cool. Okay. So, and then what's your favorite food group? Something you could never give up?
Fruits. I love fruits. I eat tons of fruit every day.
What's your favorite fruit?
Watermelon.
So good. It's very hydrating. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, and then if you had to pick one reality show, what reality show would you want to be on?
Ooh, that's a good one. What reality show? I'd probably maybe something that was creative, like, I'm not sure whether you guys have it over there, but it's called The Block, and it's like where they go and they actually like renovate houses and stuff like that. So yeah, you get to watch the sort of beginning to the end, and then they sell off those houses. So yeah, it's a bit exciting, and I learn lots on those shows.
I think we do have it. I've never seen it, but I love, like, do you have HGTV? Is it on like HGTV? No, but it's all like renovation shows, and I love seeing like the before and afters, and that would be fun. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Now that we know you a little bit better, Angela, tell us a little bit about EFT and like what it actually is. For someone that's never heard of it, what is it?
Okay, so EFT basically stands for Emotional Freedom Technique. So emotional freedom technique commonly is often called tapping. So you might hear that term around, in the field. And basically it's a stress management technique for the mind and the body. So it's kind of like psychological acupuncture, where all you basically need is your fingertips and points on your body. So it follows the meridian points that are on your body as well. And basically what we do is just tap on the points while we focus on something that might be bothering us or might be really quite intense for us when we think about that. So it really honors how our brain functions and how our body works in relationship to the reaction to stress or anything that can be contributing to that stress, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I love how it's like just your body and your fingertips. Like, I feel like it empowers you to be able to do something for yourself. So do you think anybody can use this? Is this for like everybody, or could you use it on your kids, or how does
everybody? Yeah, totally. I use it with Bailey, my son, all the time. He's had some issues this year, especially when it comes to going to school and things like that. And just to build that emotional resilience up for him while he's going through those stages in life, it's super easy. And kids get it like that. Adults have got so much more stuff that's loaded over years.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Whereas he's like, yeah, no, I'm done now, Mum. And I'm like, oh, really? Really? Do you want to keep going? Because, we're onto something. But no, so kids can use it. I sometimes even been in a situation where I've been in the middle of something in public, and I'll go to the toilet, and I'll tap in the bathroom. I tap while I'm driving. It's so versatile. But like you say, all you need is your own self. And that's what I love about it, because you don't need to know anything too scientific, even though it's got a very heavy scientific basis and a lot of research behind it now. But there's basic techniques that you can use. And of course, with anything that's a bit more intense or traumatic, I do sort of recommend that people do go and seek professional help from a certified EFT practitioner, because sometimes these things can be a little bit tricky to navigate as well. But yeah, on a general basic starting level, anyone can use it.
So is it something that would benefit you? Is stress, anxiety? Like, what are the things that people will find when they're using it that would help them?
Yeah. So you can use it for anything from, relationship issues, things that you have, like say you've had an argument with your partner, or the kids are driving you nuts, or you've got parenting issues that you want to go through and deal with, or weight loss. It's been used for weight loss. There's a lot of research around that that's come out particularly recently as well. You can use it for any addictions. I know that I've had some success with cravings, food cravings, and smoking. Phobias, I've used it with my son with dog phobia. You can use it for depression, anxiety. There's a lot of research around PTSD with war veterans as well. Increasing your confidence, increasing your performance, like, if you're, say, on stage, or I know a lady also that actually, she does tapping when it comes to her artwork, and if she's got any blocks and things like that. So you can use it for pretty much anything and everything, as long as there's a emotional component to it, because when you deal with the emotional component of it and release that, then you'll get a shift in movement that is beneficial using that technique.
Okay, cool. So you're going to walk us through how to do this technique, right?
Yeah, of course,
Okay.
of course.
All right.
I'll tell you
Okay,
the
let's do
basic.
it. Okay.
So yeah, like I said, basically, it's really good in the beginning to get some clarification around what it is that you want to tap on. So there's a few steps to it. So we get that clarification first. And so that's just you choosing a particular issue that you want to work on. I might run you through something that could be very common for a lot of people at this time of year, especially, and make it more of a general tapping. But the more specific that you can get, the better that will be with the shifts that you have down the track as well. So once you clarify what it is that you actually want to tap on, then we usually like to measure it. So we usually like to rate how we are at the beginning and how we feel about that versus what that feels like at the end, so that you can actually start to see the differences just within a few rounds of tapping. So usually we rate that from 0 to 10. So say something was really intense and it was like really stressful for you, that would be like a 10 out of 10. Okay. If it's like, that doesn't bother me at all, that's like a 0. So once you've clarified it, rated it, then what we do is the tapping part, where we go onto the different points. There's about 8 points that I'll walk you through. So it'll just be like a follow me process. I won't go too much into detail of where the points are. So if you just follow what I do, then you'll get the benefit of that round anyway. And then, we do the testing after a few rounds of that to see how we feel different compared to how we were in the beginning. You might notice sometimes as well that sometimes the intensity can increase first, but that's a really good thing. It's working, because what that means is that you're actually really focusing on the real issue at hand, and you're getting emotionally more attached to it. So we want to get emotionally attached to it without creating trauma. And that's why tapping is really beneficial, because you'll feel it, but it's not going to throw you back into, any full-on traumas and things like that. So, if you just want to follow me, I'll run you through basic recipe. And I think that at this time of year, I've noticed, like, even just going to the shops and Christmas and everything happening, the people are starting to get a little bit frustrated. So we might deal with things that are perhaps frustrating for people right now. So it could be that someone's not doing something that you want them to do, or they're doing something that's annoying you, or it could be that the kids are driving you nuts on the holidays already, or it could be that you're going shopping and it's like, not enough money, or it could be that you've got not enough time and it's just that frustrating feeling. So would that be a good thing for you to tap on, do you think?
Totally. I think I already went right. I was like, I have one, and I feel like everyone could relate. And I think if you are watching this now, or you're on the replay later watching this, type in what you don't have to share if you don't want to, but definitely when we rate it, type in your rate of whatever it is that you're going to tap on. So first pick what you're saying, that frustration point, and then
yeah. And then we might be able to re-rate at the end as well. So if people wanted to pop down what the changes were, because what we'll find is that it'll drop. And even if it drops a couple of, numbers, then that's brilliant, because in the nervous system, that's huge, So don't worry too much about your number, and don't worry too much about, what you're thinking about. I just want to tap through a general frustrated feeling. So I want everyone to just close their eyes and tune in to what it is that's happening in your life right now that has a little bit of frustration or a lot of frustration around it. Or if it's not frustration, it's like an irritation. So you feel the intensity of that. And I want you to just notice where you feel that feeling in your body. And we're only just tuning into it for the purpose of just getting clarity around what that is. Alrighty? So once you're in touch with it, I want you to rate it from 0 to 10. 0 being that it's not bothering you at all, 10 being that you're quite frustrated or irritated, or somewhere in between that.
I'm like a 6.
Like a 6. Cool. Excellent. All right. So you can see my upper body because this is where most of our points are that we're going to work on. So I'm just going to get you to follow with me. So we're going to start tapping on the side of the hands and just, mirror what I'm doing. It doesn't matter which hands you use. It doesn't matter if you swap over in the meantime. Your system's going to have that shift anyway.
Okay.
And I want you to repeat after me. So even though this is happening in my life right now,
this is happening in my life right now,
and even though I feel really frustrated,
and even though I feel really frustrated,
when I think about that, it's a 6 out of 10, or whatever your number is.
It's a 6 out of 10.
Yeah. I choose to be open to completely loving myself and how I'm feeling anyway. Even though I've got this happening in my life right now,
even though I have this happening in my life right now,
and I feel frustrated when I think about that,
and when I feel frustrated when I think about that,
I choose to send love to that part of me that feels really frustrated, and anyone else that's involved. Okay, so now we're going to go through the points. So inside of the eyebrow here, so just tap on the inside and follow me. All of this frustration that I feel.
All of these frustrations that I feel.
Outside of I feel this frustration in my body. Under the eye. This frustration, sometimes it's too much. Under the nose. Sometimes I can't take it anymore. On the chin, when I think about this, I feel really frustrated. Now on the collarbone, just under the clavicle there, sometimes I could even explode. Now under the arm, why is this so hard? Top of the head, all these frustrating feelings in my body. We're going to do another round. All this frustration because this is happening. Outside of I don't know what to do sometimes. Under the eye. I don't know how to change this to feel better. Under the nose. Sometimes I feel out of control with this. On the chin. If only they would change. That's hitting a point I can see. On the collarbone. That would be so much better. Yeah. But maybe frustration has its purpose. Top of the head. And maybe I'm irritated about something within me. Eyebrow point. I wonder what that could be. Outside of eye. This feeling of frustration. Under the eye is simply my system. Under the nose, trying to tell me something. On the chin. Maybe I need to be aware of something. All of this frustration. Under the arm. I choose to give myself permission. Top of the head to fully feel this frustration now. On the eyebrow. And to become aware as much as possible.
and to become aware as much as possible.
Outside of I. This response is something that I've done before.
This response is something that I've done before.
Under the I, even though they haven't changed yet.
Even though they haven't changed yet.
Under the nose. But it doesn't mean I have to do it again.
But it doesn't mean I have to do it again.
On the chin. I'm giving myself permission.
I'm giving myself permission.
On the collarbone. To relax and refocus.
To relax and refocus.
Under the arm. I'm giving myself permission to use my energy in different ways.
I'm giving myself permission to use my energy in different ways.
Top of the head. I wonder what it would feel like to feel more relaxed.
I wonder what it would feel like to feel more relaxed.
Eyebrow. And consider what the best thing I could do right now is.
I can consider what the best thing to do right now is.
Outside of I, allowing myself to breathe and feel more relaxed now.
Allowing myself to breathe and feel more relaxed now.
Under the eye. When I'm relaxed, I'm more creative.
When I'm relaxed, I'm more creative.
Under the nose. I can feel that I have more options.
I can feel that I have more options.
On the chin. I can find more solutions.
I can find more solutions.
Collarbone. And maybe I can even let go of further frustrations.
And even I can let go of the frustrations.
Under the arm. Maybe at a cellular level.
Maybe at a cellular level.
Top of the head and all the way through back in my
And all the way through to the back of my mind.
Back in my past.
Back in my past.
Yeah. Eyebrow. I choose to create a more peaceful state now.
I choose to, I'm sorry, say that again.
Yeah. I choose to create a more peaceful state now.
I choose to create a more peaceful state now.
Outside of I choose to honor and love myself.
I choose to honor and love myself.
And anyone else that might have contributed to this frustration.
And anyone else that has contributed to this frustration.
I give myself permission to be more relaxed.
I give myself permission to be more relaxed.
On the chin. I give myself permission to breathe deeply.
I give myself permission to breathe deeply.
I love to breathe.
I love to breathe.
Under the arm. And it's good to breathe.
And it's good to breathe.
Top of the head. I give myself permission to be relaxed.
I give myself permission to be relaxed.
In my mind.
In my mind.
In my body.
In my body.
In my whole spirit.
In my whole spirit.
Okay, let's take a nice deep breath. And sometimes we can actually have a drink of water at this point, and then before we recheck in, so if anyone wants to have a sip of water, that's really good because we're moving energy. And so when we move energy, water is a conductor of electricity. And so energy is electricity going through our bodies. So having a sip of water in between is really a good idea as well. But the breath will also do that.
Okay. I don't have water in front of me. Should I go run and get some, or I'll make sure I do some after?
No.
Okay. I normally do. I looked for it. I'm like, where is it?
So now I want you to just close your eyes and I want you to go in and just tune into the thing that was happening in your life right now that created some emotional intensity. And I want you to just feel what you would rate the feeling of that when you tune into that now. What do you notice?
I just feel really relaxed, actually.
Yeah. So when you think about that event or that person or the issue that was frustrating for you, what would you rate that out of 10? It was a 6 before. So where's that at now?
So at this moment, like I feel like a 1. Like I don't feel very connected to it. So it was actually, I'll tell you what it was. So I get frustrated. I get anxious like right before I try to work with my kids. Like I feel like I get like, and it comes up often, especially now I'm working more where I'll get like frustrated. So is this something like, if it's going on, you can do it right during when it's happening, or do you have to step away from the time that it's happening? Like if they were like, and I'm like, I know I have a time, I have to be somewhere or something, or like, you know what I mean? Like, would you just stop what you're doing and tap?
Yeah, or you could still go through the process, and once you know the points, you can just tap as you're talking to your children or dealing with whatever it is that's coming up. So that's the beauty of it. You can do it in the present moment while that's happening, because that's soothing your system as you're, and that's probably the most ideal time to do it, particularly if there's really intense feelings, because in that moment, you're there, you're emotionally there. It's the highest that it will ever be, right? But you can also recreate that emotion when you go and you think about it. If you don't remember to tap in that moment, or you want to go and really nut it out and really deal with what's going on underlying all of that, and you will get that intensity back when you think about it. So you're just focusing on that particular event, but you're also soothing your body at the same time. And that's giving that biofeedback impulse to the brain saying, you know what, we're safe, we're okay here. Even though this is going on, there's a level of acceptance around yourself and what's happening. So that's the whole behind the tapping. So definitely time and after, before.
Keep interrupting you, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I loved in the beginning how it started with like, I accept where I'm at. Like, it wasn't like, don't try to erase your feeling, like feel your feeling. And then it helped you kind of breathe through it. Like, I love that. So I used to try to my feelings weren't there. That was always my thing. I'd be like, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. So it's, I like that you love yourself where you're at, which love that.
Yeah. And sometimes people have a hard time saying, I love myself. I couldn't use that phrase in the beginning. So you might say, well, even though I've got this going on, I'm okay right here, right now. And it doesn't matter what you actually say, as long as the focus is the level of acceptance around it, or you're choosing to be open to that. So you don't have to feel that second part of the statement yet, but you will the more that you tap. And then you can say stuff like, I love and adore myself and that part of me. And I love the fact that this is going on, because it gives me the chance to be able to move through and evolve as a human being, So yeah.
This was wonderful. Yeah, I actually feel really good. I feel like I could like get a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
So is there like a time frame of how long it's supposed to take, or is it really like relative to the person? Like, can it be, it's not just something like a more advanced thing, or?
Yeah, no, sometimes it depends on how many aspects are involved in the issue itself. So say you were dealing with somebody who, had a big trauma that was going on, then that may take a little bit more time. But then sometimes it might be something, where you're just a little bit anxious about a meeting that you've got coming up. So you might do some tapping as you're driving on the way. And of course, two hands on the wheel. But the beautiful thing about tapping is if I've been at the lights, waiting for the lights, and I'm tapping, and, you can do it in the car. So it doesn't matter how long you do it for. Any tapping is good tapping. So every morning I get up and I'm like, okay, well, how do I feel today? I might only do like 2 rounds of tapping based on how I'm feeling, because there's nothing major going on. But then if it's something that's pretty major and I'm like an emotional mess, I might sit there for a good 20 minutes and do it. So it really depends on where you're at. But even if you did some of it and you had to go back to it later because you were interrupted by the kids or anything like that, you're not going to do any harm by doing that little bit and then coming back to that later. Okay. And like you say, even if you don't know what you're saying or things are going on at the time, you can just tap. And we have this saying in the whole tapping world, it's like, just keep tapping, no matter what happens, just keep tapping,
like finding just keep one tapping. Point. Yeah. No, this is wonderful. I so appreciate that you took us through that and that you gave us that example. And I feel like it's so great to have some tools in your toolbox, because the stress is not going away. It's management. And even like, say I'm going to get really good with my frustration towards my children as I work, I'm sure there's something else that's going to happen. Like, I'm never going to not have something that I'm going to need a tool to cope with my stress. So something like this to learn, it's kind of amazing. So if people are interested and want more about EFT and want to learn how to do this for themselves, or may have some more, bigger traumas in their life and they would like some assistance, how would they reach out to you or find you? Or yeah.
Okay, so anybody can find me on Facebook. I've obviously got a page on there. It's called TheJoyHut. So if you just search at TheJoyHut, it'll come up with me as the obviously go-to person. So you can personal message me through there, or my website is just thejoyhut.com.au. And anybody can find more information on my website. I do have some, images of the tapping points as well, if people want to have a look and refer to that on the website. I think it's under free stuff or something like that. And yeah, so reach out through social media. I'm on Instagram as well.
Go
Or
find Angela.
yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Is there any last thing that you want to say before we leave?
I just want people to know that you can't get it wrong. You know, when this is something that comes up all the time with people who begin tapping, they worry about what they're saying and whether they're saying the right thing. And I just want to reassure you that you cannot get it wrong, because this is all about your truth and what you feel in that moment. So even if the words like, even though I feel blah, which I've done before, by the way, then that's it. It's blah. It's the perfect thing that describes you, you know, at that time and how you're feeling. So you cannot get it wrong. So don't let that put you off. You just keep going. And if you need that assistance, reach out, because it's something that has totally changed my life and the lives of my friends and family, and even my son. He's a different person now to what he was 2 years ago. And, you know, be patient with kids when you're dealing with them as well, because sometimes they're ready for it, sometimes they're not, and they're working through their own stuff just as much as what we are. So, and I just want to say thank you for allowing this platform, Jennifer, to share, you know, this amazing tool with the world, because I just love it. I just love it.
So
I think it's amazing.
yeah, I loved having this time with you. It was wonderful.
Yeah,
So So when I should have told you this before we got off, but when I close out, it does end our thing. So if you want to hop back on for just a second, that'd be great. But yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, you're coming to the end of this. I hope that you rated how you felt on the beginning and at the end, and then definitely reach out to Angela if you want more information. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Oh, where's the end? There it is.